That's the fire of life and death? Xiao Yan's eyes were fixed with intense heat on the plant not far from him. The plant was entirely black and white, with a black stem about the size of a finger and small white leaves. Its roots, however, were astonishingly hidden atop an icy pillar. Surrounding the plant was a circle of crimson flames, slowly encircling it, giving it an air of profound mystery. That's the fire of life and death. If you want it, go ahead and take it yourself. The life and death fire beast gritted its teeth, trying not to look at the fire of life and death as it spoke to Xiao Yan. After all, it had guarded the fire of life and death for thousands of years, and now, watching someone else take it right before its eyes was painful, to say the least. Remember, the fire of life and death has 7 leaves in total, from its initial stage to its peak. Judging by its current state, this one is a 6-leaf fire of life and death. It should help Little E move to the next stage of growth. But I still don't know what that reincarnation seal on Little E is all about. Xiao Yan spoke slowly. Although his voice was filled with joy, a trace of concern crept in. He had just arrived on the continent of Do Chi, and while he had obtained the complete flame mantra from Tuasha Ancient Emperor, the mysterious reincarnation seal on Little Yi's forehead had never left his mind. Xiao Yan didn't know much about the reincarnation seal, but he had a strong feeling that it wasn't something good. And given his close relationship with Little E, like brothers, he would never allow anything dangerous to happen to him. Little E? Entering the next stage? Reincarnation seal? Hearing Xiao Yan mutter these words, the life and death fire beast beside him was visibly shocked. The words reincarnation seal alone were worth far more than the fire of life and death in front of them. What is it? You know something? Xiao Yan noticed the beast's reaction and turned to question it. Kid, I don't know exactly what the reincarnation seal is, but I've got a hunch that it's tied to someone far beyond the Dosian level. From what you said, you're after the fire of life and death for someone else, aren't you? The beast asked. That's right, Xiao Yan confirmed directly, not bothering to hide it from the life and death fire beast. The being you're talking about must be a fire spirit. The beast paused briefly, its eyes filled with envy. Yes. Xiao Yan was a bit surprised that the beast had guessed correctly again. You don't realize. Sacred flames are the purest form of fire elemental power, and such power can sometimes give birth to sentient beings called sacred flame spirits. But fire spirits are different. While they're also embodiments of fire, they exist as independent entities with immense power of their own. You can think of it this way. Sacred flames are raw firepower, and sacred flame spirits are just a part of that power. However, fire spirits are entire beings, and it's said that a fire spirit will only choose its master when deeply moved by a human. And once a fire spirit chooses you, its potential is boundless. The life and death fire beast side, clearly envious. Which is stronger, sacred flames or fire spirits? Xiao Yan was confused and asked for clarification. A sacred flame is just a mass of brilliant firepower. Even a sacred flame spirit is still just pure power. But a fire spirit is a living, sentient being and a loyal companion with overwhelming firepower. Do you understand now? The life and death fire beast looked at Xiao Yan. Also, a fully mature fire spirit surpasses a sacred flame by a wide margin. However, it takes an enormous amount of resources for a fire spirit to evolve from birth to full maturity, the beast added. I see. No matter how powerful a sacred flame is, it still needs someone to control it. But a fire spirit can fight on its own. Xiao Yan finally understood what the beast was trying to say. All right, hurry up and collect the fire of life and death before I change my mind, the life and death fire beast said impatiently. Got it. Xiao Yan chuckled at the beast's attitude before approaching the fire of life and death. This guy's really blessed by the heavens. Having a sacred flame wasn't enough. Now he has a fire spirit, too. How unfair is that? The 2 strongest treasures of the fire element, and this kid gets them both. The heavens are truly unjust. The life and death fire beast grumbled bitterly. Sacred flames had always been incredibly powerful. Anyone who acquired one would see their strength skyrocket. But in the long run, a fire spirit was far more promising. After all, If a fire spirit reached maturity, it would become a formidable ally capable of fighting Do Xian-level experts. Due to the unique nature of the fire of life and death, it requires the presence of both flame and ice. Without either, it would wither in an instant, and all efforts would be in vain. Got it. Bone spirit cold fire. At that moment, Xiaoyan suddenly remembered something and burst out laughing. As soon as his voice fell, a blazing heavenly flame radiating intense cold appeared in an instant. As the Flame Emperor, Xiaoyan naturally possessed the ability to merge and separate flames within his own imperial flame. Crack! As soon as the combined forces of fire and ice touched the fire of life and death, it erupted in strong resistance. However, a moment later, sensing no malicious intent from Xiaoyan's power, it gradually relaxed. Come to me. The moment the fire of life and death let its guard down, Xiaoyan shouted, and the two forces of fire and ice instantly enveloped it. In the next moment, the flame appeared in Xiaoyan's hand. However, at this point, Xiaoyan suddenly recalled something his master, Yao Lao, had once said. Never destroy the root of any herb when harvesting it. Always leave some life behind. Even though you've taken this herb, as long as the root remains intact, it will eventually grow back. With that in mind, Xiaoyan gently removed the fire of life and death. Who? That was close. He exhaled deeply and looked down at the palm-sized fire of life and death in his hand, which had 6 distinct leaves. A smile crept onto his face. With this, plus some supportive pills, Little E should be able to smoothly advance to 9-star Do D. When Little E reaches 9-star Do D, and we fuse again, our strength should temporarily rise to the level of a 9-star Do D. At that point, Xiaoyan mused. Collect. With a plan in mind, Xiaoyan carefully stored the 6-leaf fire of life and death into his storage ring, ensuring it was well protected, before quietly approaching the nearby life and death fire beast. Heh, life and death fire beast. I wonder if you know where I can find 2 particular herbs in this relic? Xiaoyan asked with a mischievous grin, his eyes locked on the beast. What are you looking for? The life and death fire beast, having just witnessed Xiaoyan retrieve the fire of life and death without destroying its root, had grown quite fond of him. Azure Dragon Dew and Heavenly King Ginseng, Xiaoyan said softly, waiting expectantly for the beast's reply. What? The beast's eyes narrowed sharply upon hearing those names, clearly startled by Xiaoyan's inquiry. Do you know how rare those things are? The life and death fire beast said after regaining its composure. Xiaoyan naturally understood the preciousness of those 2 herbs, but there was no alternative. He was just 1 step away from reviving his ancestor, Xiao Xian. The only thing missing was the soul-returning pill. The main ingredients for crafting the soul-returning pill were the blazing wind fruit, Azure Dragon Dew, and Heavenly King Ginseng. Xiaoyan had already acquired the blazing wind fruit from Qin Xian. Only these 2 herbs remained. As for the Do D body he needed, the corpse of a perfect 6-star Do D servant from the Ming sect lay quietly in his storage ring. Forget about the Azure Dragon Dew. It's a sacred treasure of the Dragon Clan, and dealing with them is impossible for humans like you. However, as for the Heavenly King Ginseng, I believe it might be found on Guanghan Island. After thinking for a while, the life and death fire beast finally spoke. Are you sure? Xiaoyan asked, his face lighting up with joy. Either of the 2 herbs was incredibly valuable, so the possibility of finding one was enough to fill him with excitement. I'm not lying. I vaguely recall its presence on Guanghan Island, the beast said truthfully. Great. I'll head to Guanghan Island once this is over and try to get it. Xiaoyan mentally finalized his plan. For now, you should help me with my tribulation, the beast said after a brief pause. Of course. Xiaoyan chuckled awkwardly, realizing he had nearly forgotten about it after hearing the news about the Heavenly King Ginseng. Where should we go for your tribulation? Xiaoyan asked. Let's head back to that molten world we just passed through. That place will boost my strength, and it should slightly increase my chances of success, the life and death fire beast explained. All right, let's go. Xiaoyan nodded in agreement. Will your tribulation attract a lightning storm? On the way back, Xiao Yin couldn't help but ask. He had never witnessed a perfect 7-star Do-D magical beast undergoing a tribulation before. Yes. Although our cultivation paths differ from humans, we both rely on tribulations to advance in strength. However, magical beasts like me face far stronger suppression from the heavens. The further we progress, the more difficult our lightning tribulations become. You humans are much luckier in that regard, the life and death fire beast replied with a smile. I see. However, with all those vultures lurking in the swamp, eyeing the life and death dual spring, and the life and death fire beast, why don't we do it this way? A mocking smile tugged at the corner of Xiao Yan's mouth. Clearly, they wanted him to take the lead while they reaped the benefits from the sidelines. But Xiao Yan wasn't about to be the sucker in this scenario. Ha ha ha, kid, you're quite the schemer. But I like it. Just a bunch of cowards, scared to die yet greedy for treasure. The life and death fire beast bellowed with laughter as it heard Xiao Yan's plan and immediately found it agreeable. We're here. Before long, the life and death fire beast spoke directly to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan nodded slightly in response, and the two of them returned to the molten world beneath. What should I do? Xiao Yan asked. It's simple. You just need to channel the power of the sacred flame into me. As for the rest, leave it to me. The life and death fire beast grinned, eagerly awaiting this moment. All right. Xiao Yan, never one to dawdle, agreed without hesitation. Get ready, the life and death fire beast reminded him. It then let out a long howl, causing the searing magma world around them to violently surge, rushing madly toward its body. This guy, he's really going all out, Xiao Yan muttered. The life and death fire beast's method mirrored his own previous experience of absorbing heavenly flames, using the most primal approach, drawing the flames directly into the body and harnessing their ferocious power to push to the brink of a breakthrough. Fire come. Before long, the life and death fire beast was engulfed in fiery red magma. It roared at Xiao Yan. Fireheart heavenly rock go. Without wasting a second, Xiao Yan summoned the earthy yellow sacred flame, which shot straight into the beast's body. Arg! As soon as the sacred flame entered the life and death fire beast, it let out an agonizing roar. The immense power of the sacred flame was clearly overwhelming, pushing it to the brink of collapse. Hold on, or all of this will have been for nothing. Xiao Yan quickly shouted, sensing the creature's torment. The life and death fire beast had taken a bold gamble, hoping to break through using the power of the sacred flame. But if it couldn't endure this intense trial, it would be reduced to ashes. After all, sacred flames were no ordinary fire. One wrong move and it could be obliterated in an instant. I know. Arg! The beast growled again, clearly underestimating the destructive force of the sacred flame. Meanwhile, the world of magma reverberated with its roar, and up above in the swamp, a strange phenomenon began to unfold. What's going on? The first to notice something amiss was Lung Fuyao. Although his strength wasn't particularly remarkable, as an alchemist, his soul power was easily among the top 10 in this ancient ruin. What happened? Yuru asked quietly. The mist over the swamp has cleared. And look, there seem to be thunderclouds gathering, Lung Fuyao said, pointing upward. Thunderclouds? What's that all about? Xiaoqi exclaimed, startled by the sight. That doesn't look like the kind of thunderclouds you see when refining pills. It looks more like the kind that appears when a magical beast undergoes a breakthrough, Qin Xian said softly. A magical beast's breakthrough? Mu Feng and Mu Yingying were both taken aback, clearly not understanding the implications. When powerful magical beasts reach a critical point in their evolution, they draw the attention of the heavens, resulting in a lightning tribulation. Only by surviving it can their strength break through, Qin Xian explained. If they fail, the magical beast will perish completely. What is Xiao Yan up to? How could he have triggered a lightning tribulation? They thought to themselves, keeping a wary eye on the other groups around them. Why would there be a lightning tribulation? The Five Poisons sect leader was equally puzzled. Could Xiao Yan have made some kind of deal with the beast below? Lin Zhu speculated boldly. Even she couldn't help but feel a trace of fear when it came to Xiao Yan. Let's take it one step at a time, the leader of the Five Poisons sect said, keeping his gaze fixed on the swamp. He could sense a scorching heat slowly rising from below. A lightning tribulation? Isn't that a sign of a magical beast breakthrough? What exactly is Xiao Yin doing down there? Little Bai muttered, confused. I have a feeling, Xing Luo began, his lips curling into a slight smile. Having nearly mastered astrology, Xing Luo had a rough idea of what was happening. According to his astrological predictions, Xiao Yin had likely obtained the life and death fire below, and the guardian beast had probably been defeated. A magical beast's breakthrough lightning tribulation? In the next moment, Chi Haoran's pupils shrank as he glared menacingly at the terrifying tribulation overhead, a deep sense of dread welling up inside him. What is Xiao Yin doing? This lightning tribulation was clearly one that magical beasts undergo when crossing a major threshold, but if someone were to claim that Xiao Yin was a magical beast, no one would believe it. Yet if that wasn't the case, there seemed to be only one explanation. The tribulation had been triggered by the guardian below. Could it be that Xiao Yin was devoured by that guardian? Chi Haoqing asked in slight disbelief. I doubt it, someone responded. While the beast below is terrifyingly powerful, it still doesn't have the strength to devour Xiao Yin in order to trigger such a tribulation. Xiao Yin may only be at the perfect 6-star Do D level, but in a real fight, I'm not sure even I could guarantee victory. So, even if he couldn't defeat that guardian, escaping shouldn't be a problem for him. As the clouds above grew ever more dazzling, dangerous energy began to brew. Song Yu immediately spoke up. Song Yu, stop boosting others' morale while deflating your own spirit. Xiao Yin isn't as strong as you make him out to be. Chi Haoqing retorted, his resentment clear. In my view, Xiao Yin is just a kid who's good at scheming, Chi Haoqing continued. After being tricked by Xiao Yin at the entrance of the Iron Gate ruins, Chi Haoqing and his brother's hatred for him had only deepened. Believe what you want, Song Yu said dismissively, not wasting time arguing. His eyes remained fixed on the intensifying lightning tribulation in the sky. This lightning tribulation had clearly surpassed what they, as 7-star Do D, could handle. If it exploded over the marshland, even the precious life and death dual spring wouldn't be safe. Its value would mean nothing if their lives were at stake. What's going on here? Chi Haoran, growing impatient, shouted. Neither Feng Hong nor Song Yu responded, ignoring Chi Haoran's outburst. We can't just sit here. We have to go down and see for ourselves. What kind of tricks is Xiao Yin up to now? After a few breaths, Chi Haoran's eyes flashed with determination. Without hesitation, he grabbed Chi Haoqing and they both surged toward the marshland. If you trust me, don't follow them, Song Yu said, stopping Feng Hong and Du Chun just as they were about to move. He had sensed something ominous. I have a bad feeling that going down there now would be suicide. But the life and death dual spring? Feng Hong was clearly fixated on it. Relax, no one can get to it for the time being, Song Yu replied. Judging by the intensity of the tribulation, he seemed to have a good idea of what was going on. The lightning seems to be heading below the marshland. The small figure of Hong Qian, next to Song Yu, suddenly spoke up, her voice tinged with surprise. This? Song Yu frowned. If the tribulation was above the marsh, the one undergoing it would have to appear, likely the guardian. That would give them the chance to strike at the critical moment, allowing them access to the life and death dual spring. But if the tribulation was happening below the marsh, it meant the guardian had already figured out their plan. This complicated things. Someone's entered the marsh. The Chi brothers' descent into the marsh was instantly noticed by other nearby experts. The Chi brothers? People from the Xianling royal family? What are they doing in such a dangerous area right now? Could they have discovered something? Xing Luo mused, nodding slightly as if deep in thought. What's wrong, miss? Little Bai, noticing Xing Luo's rare serious expression, immediately asked. According to astrology, it seems the great catastrophe will be led by the Xianling royal family, and the Chi brothers seem to be connected to the source of the disaster. Xing Luo's words came in broken phrases, her mind seemingly elsewhere. A catastrophe? The source of the disaster? Little Bai, though confused, didn't question further. She had great faith in astrology, especially in Xing Luo's abilities, which far exceeded her own. If Xing Luo said it, it was likely true. What should we do now? Should we follow them? Little Bai asked. No need. If my guess is correct, this lightning tribulation was triggered by the guardian below. I don't know Xiao Yan's exact situation, but I'm sure he's fine. The guardian is clever. Knowing that so many powerful figures are gathered here, breaking through on the surface would likely provoke an attack. But below the marsh, many hesitate to venture into the unknown. Xing Luo's tone was steady, her confidence unwavering. Besides, there's an extremely intense, scorching energy coming from below. The Chi brothers, charging in recklessly like this, will likely face dire consequences, Xing Luo added. Little Bai nodded in agreement. Given their own limited strength, diving in headfirst wouldn't end well for them either. It seems the Chi brothers were just tricked by Xiao Yan, and now they're worried that he'll beat them to the life and death duel spring, so they're getting impatient, said Wu Du. Those two are up to no good. I suspect they've been holding a grudge against Xiao Yan for a long time. This could easily turn into a vicious battle, added Lin Zhu. I'm curious how Xiao Yan has managed to get along with that guardian down below for so long, Lin Zhu mused. Plus, I have a feeling that this lightning tribulation might be related to Xiao Yan somehow, Wu Du remarked. Those two are rushing things. You can't eat hot tofu in a hurry, Lin Zhu said, shaking his head slowly. A good show's about to start. Wu Du suddenly smiled, as if sensing something. As the commotion grew, countless eyes turned toward the swamp. The lightning tribulation had already disappeared into the swamp, leaving no trace, and the area above had returned to calm. Though the other strong cultivators were restless, they had no choice but to wait. Meanwhile, the Chi brothers had already entered the swamp, and Xiao Yan had gone in quite a while earlier. You actually lured the tribulation into this magma world? Xiao Yan felt a chill as he stared at the terrifying lightning approaching him. Judging by its intensity, he knew that even if he gave it everything he had, he might barely survive. The lightning from a magical beast's tribulation was terrifying beyond belief. No need to be afraid. If I broke through on the surface of the swamp, it would likely attract interference from your human experts. I had no other choice, replied the life and death fire beast, unconcerned by Xiao Yan's teasing. After all, the two were now partners. At least the magma world is shielded by the swamp, so it provides an extra layer of protection, the beast continued, clearly unbothered. All right, go ahead and break through, Xiao Yan said decisively after a few quick questions. Someone's coming. The life and death fire beast's face darkened abruptly, its previous smile vanishing. It focused its gaze on a space not far away. Ha ha ha. Xiao Yan, I didn't expect you to collude with that guardian. A voice filled with laughter and power suddenly echoed at the far end of the magma world. So it's the Chi brothers from the Xinling royal family, Xiao Yan muttered, his gaze locking onto the two figures. One of them is in the early 7-star Do D stage, the other is mid 7-star Do D. They really think highly of me. As he finished speaking, a powerful battle intent surged from him. Xiao Yan, I can't believe you're working with that guardian. Chi Haoran stood at the edge of the magma, glaring at Xiao Yan with resentment. But even Chi Haoran couldn't help but notice the dazzling lightning tribulation before him, along with the terrifying magma world below. The brothers had already experienced the guardian's strength, having been forced into the swamp earlier. They had no idea there was an entirely different world beneath it. Since you know, what's the point of saying anything else? Xiao Yan replied, staring at the Chi brothers. Despite the fact that Chi Haoran was in the mid 7-star Do D stage and his brother Chi Haoqing was early 7-star Do D, Xiao Yan wasn't intimidated. Not enough to back down anyway. 5 minutes. The life and death fire beast spoke in a low voice, aware of the impending trouble. Don't worry. Since I've benefited from you, I'll see this through to the end, Xiao Yan said with a carefree smile. Then I'll thank you in advance, the life and death fire beast responded, wasting no time as it continued absorbing the power of the magma world. With the addition of Xiao Yan's sacred flame, it was starting to show signs of connecting with the lightning tribulation. I didn't expect this to be the life and death fire beast. The fire of life and death is a rare treasure, Chi Haoran said, his gaze fixated on the beast, a strange smile playing on his lips. Xiao Yan, let's settle our old and new grudges today.
Attack!
Chi Haoran shouted suddenly. The Guardian is undergoing a tribulation, and its strength is greatly weakened, Chi Haoran added quickly. You handle the Guardian. As for Xiao Yan, leave him to me. Chi Haoran instructed his brother Chi Haoqing. Although his brother was only at the early 7-star Do-D stage, Chi Haoran had a feeling that Xiao Yan wasn't as simple as he seemed, so he decided to hold back a bit. You'd better both come at me. If you lose, don't say I didn't give you a fair chance, Xiao Yan taunted, sneering at the Chi brothers. If they were anywhere else, Xiao Yan wouldn't dare be so arrogant. But here in the magma world, with his fire attribute, the sacred flame, and the power boost from the environment, he stood a good chance of taking on 2 7-star Do-Dis. Ha ha ha. Xiao Yan, have you lost your mind? Do you really think you can challenge the two of us with your mere perfect 6-star Do-D strength? Chi Haoqing laughed dismissively, clearly thinking Xiao Yan had gone mad with fear of their overwhelming power. But while Chi Haoran was petty and vindictive, he was also cautious. This guy has a fire attribute. In this molten world, our power is somewhat suppressed, but for Xiao Yan, it gives a tremendous boost, Chi Haoran muttered to himself. Enough with the chatter. Xiao Yan interrupted impatiently, and in an instant, his figure moved.
Attack!
This place puts us at a disadvantage the longer we fight. We must defeat Xiao Yan as quickly as possible, Chi Haoran commanded, no longer hesitating as he unleashed his full power, launching it at Xiao Yan in a furious rush. Fire, come forth. Unfazed by facing 2 7-star Do-Dis, Xiao Yan fearlessly called out. As his words echoed, massive pillars of fire erupted from the molten ground and surged wildly toward Xiao Yan. Grand heavenly creation palm. With the flames swirling toward him, Xiao Yan let out a thunderous roar. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as Xiao Yan's voice fell, a radiant, fiery red energy palm appeared, fiercely striking out at the two attackers. Such a petty trick. Chi Haoran sneered, waving his hand sharply. An invisible, razor-sharp wind dispersed Xiao Yan's seemingly powerful attack with ease. Take this. Xianling hand. As Chi Haoran neutralized Xiao Yan's assault, his brother, Chi Haoqing, suddenly appeared at his side, his hand brimming with a terrifying dark red energy. Bang, bang, bang. Without hesitation, he launched a fierce attack at the now-closed Xiao Yan. Immortal body. Realizing the strength behind Chi Haoqing's attack, Xiao Yan knew he couldn't block it easily. He immediately summoned his Do-D body. The moment his Do-D body emerged, it halted Chi Haoqing's fierce strike in its tracks. A Do-D body? That thing may be powerful, but it's long been obsolete. I bet only your burning incense pavilion still bothers using it, Chi Haoran smirked. Although the Do-D body was formidable, combining both offense and defense, it was complicated and resource-heavy to maintain. These days, in the entire Mystic 3 Heavens, only the burning incense pavilion still relied on it. Not so fast. Xiao Yan smiled faintly, and his golden immortal body moved swiftly, diving straight into the molten world below. Is he insane? Even someone as experienced as Chi Haoqing couldn't help but twitch his eyelids upon seeing Xiao Yan plunge into such a dangerous environment. Even he couldn't last long in that terrifying sea of molten lava. 7-layered Skybreaker ruler. First layer. Second layer. Moments later, Xiao Yan burst forth from the molten depths, but this time, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames was not in his hand. It was wrapped around the golden immortal body itself. Boom, boom, boom. The golden immortal body, now fueled by Xiao Yan's power, erupted with energy. Its ghostly hands clutched the ancient ruler of heavenly flames and hurled it toward the Chi brothers with a deafening roar. He's actually using the power of this molten world. A flicker of shock crossed Chi Haoran's eyes. With the molten world's energy aiding him, even as 7-star Do-Dis, they were at risk of being overwhelmed. Whoosh! 2 massive, flaming rulers streaked through the air, heading straight for the Chi brothers. Both brothers felt a scorching heat in their chests as the devastating energy radiating from the fiery rulers grew closer. Shinling hand. Shinling palm. Despite their hesitation, they were still 7-star Do Dis. In an instant, they drew upon their inner life force and fiercely struck at the incoming flame rulers. 7-star Do Dis are really troublesome, Xiao muttered as he stood calmly within the molten world. His figure shielded the life and death fire beast behind him, while his immortal body remained attached to his form, with the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in hand. Kid, today will be your last. Chi Haoran's eyes gleamed with a strange blood-red light. Turning to his brother, he barked, "Hao Qing now. Let's hunt Xiao." Got it. At his words, the pupils of both brothers turned eerie and red. Wait, is that a blood curse? Though they tried to conceal it, Xiao caught a glimpse of the crimson glow in their eyes, and his heart stirred with surprise. Impossible, Xiao murmured, his mind racing. The Chi brothers, they're marked with a blood curse? The blood curse was a dark power bestowed by the extraterritorial evil clan to certain humans in the Great Thousand Worlds. Although the situation was dire, it could be said that the extraterritorial evil clan had already planted a seed within the bodies of humans. Once this seed took root, it would be incredibly difficult to eradicate. Worse yet, once implanted, it was highly likely that the person would eventually become one of the evil clan's own. It seems the Shinling royal family is even more terrifying than I imagined. Not only are they involved with Solomon of the Soul Clan, but they also appear to have ties with the extraterritorial evil clan, Xiao muttered under his breath. Ha ha ha. Xiao, die now. At this moment, the power of the Chi Haoran brothers had forcibly surged by an entire level. Their eyes were filled with countless bloodshot veins, and an intensely sinister aura engulfed their entire beings. Previously, Chi Haoqing had only reached the early 7-star Do D level, while Chi Haoran had reached the mid 7-star Do D. Now, however, both of them had suddenly risen by a whole rank, adding to the immense pressure bearing down on Xiao. How could these two humans emit such a vile aura? The life and death fire beast sensed the malevolent energy exuding from the two brothers and spoke up. Human boy, I hope you can hold them off a little longer. If I fail to transcend this tribulation, we'll both perish here today. With those words, the life and death fire beast fell silent once more. It was clearly at a critical moment in its tribulation, leaving it no time to dwell on anything else. But something doesn't add up. Their expressions seem as though they have no idea. Xiao suddenly noticed something peculiar and spoke up again. Using his soul power to sense their emotions, Xiao became certain that the two brothers had no idea they were under the influence of the blood curse from the extraterritorial evil clan. What are you using to achieve such a sudden increase in strength? Xiao couldn't help but ask aloud. Ha ha ha. Xiao, even you will know fear one day. Since I'm feeling generous, I'll enlighten you, Chi Haoran sneered. The power we're using comes from the unique strength of the Shinling royal family. It's called the Shin Seal. It can boost our strength temporarily, but it leaves us weakened afterward. This ability is usually reserved for use on Guanghan Island, but the Shinling King has commanded us to bring back your corpse. The unique power of the Shinling royal family? Xiao eyes narrowed. This energy feels far too evil. It can't truly belong to the Shinling royal family, can it? He didn't rush into action since the brothers seemed too arrogant to notice his suspicion. Impossible. Chi Haoqing snapped, his voice defensive. This is definitely the power of the Shinling royal family. But as he spoke, his pupils grew bloodier, and the sinister aura intensified. Haoqing, are you all right? Chi Haoran growled, concern lacing his voice. But as he checked the aura within his own body, he realized that Xiao words might hold some truth. This energy was utterly wicked. It seems like the power coursing through you is very likely from the extraterritorial evil clan. The malice radiating from you is unbearable, Xiao said, trying to confirm his suspicions. Impossible. Chi Haoran roared. Xiao, stop spouting nonsense. While our Shinling royal family may not get along with your Myriad Flowers Pavilion, we would never collaborate with the extraterritorial evil clan. You may not, But that doesn't mean others wouldn't, Xiao responded calmly. And from the looks of it, you two might just be victims here. Could it really be? Chi Haoran's eyes flickered with a moment of realization. Just as he was about to forcefully expel the energy, the blood curse suddenly surged, wrapping around the two brothers' bodies like a flood. Ah! The brothers' forms twisted as the blood curse spread over them. What started as 5 blood threads in their eyes, representing the 5th-rank blood curse, now engulfed their entire beings. Ah! No! Their agonized screams echoed throughout the magma-filled world. The Chi brothers clutched their heads in agony, struggling as if trying to resist some unspeakable force. Attack! They're under the influence of the extraterritorial evil clan. Xiao, realizing the gravity of the situation, wasted no time in gathering his power, preparing to strike the brothers down. The evil connection with the extraterritorial evil clan had to be severed at all costs. Furthermore, his master, Zhu Jin, was planning to infiltrate the Xinling royal family to rescue someone. If Xiao didn't uncover this secret, they would be walking into a death trap. Damn it! Xiao had just gathered his energy when the blood demon Golden Chi, which had been dormant inside him, suddenly flared up. The power he had painstakingly accumulated instantly dissipated. Why now, of all times? Xiao cursed as he fought to suppress the outbreak of blood demon Golden Chi within him. For now, the Chi brothers would have to wait. Suppress it. Xiao knew that the blood demon Golden Chi within his body was no trivial matter, and he dared not delay. He immediately sat cross-legged, summoning the radiant power of the sacred flame to suppress the blood demon Golden Chi surging in his chest. It was strange. This blood demon Golden Chi had been dormant for so long. Why had it suddenly become so agitated? However, in the next moment, Xiao eyes fell on the two Chi brothers, and it all became clear. It seems the powers of the extraterritorial evil clan are at work. This blood demon Golden Chi sensed the blood curse within the two of them, which triggered its unrest, Xiao muttered. Suppress, he commanded once more. With each attempt, he used the sacred flame to force the blood demon Golden Chi back into submission. Gradually, the violent energy began to calm down. Phew, I've managed to suppress it for now. Xiao sighed in relief. If the blood demon Golden Chi had truly erupted, his current strength alone would have been insufficient to handle it. Thankfully, it had only been drawn out, not fully awakened. These two fools. Xiao turned his attention to the brothers in front of him. At this point, the two seemed to have lost all sense of self, reduced to mindless killing machines. I was just a step too late, Xiao shook his head. He realized that while he had been busy suppressing his own blood demon Golden Chi, the brothers' final remnants of will had been completely consumed by the blood curse. Heh, why did these two go meddling where they didn't belong? Given a powerful 5th-rank blood curse, instead of using it wisely, they insisted on probing into things they were better off not knowing. Curiosity really does kill the cat, remarked the Xinling king of the Xinling royal family. Soul Clan, Solomon, you'll never guess, but all of our collaboration with you has been just a facade, a distraction from the true power we serve. I hope these two at least make their deaths worthwhile, preferably at the hands of someone from Myriad Incense Pavilion. Ha ha ha. The Xinling king let out a strange laugh. However, a blood curse, identical to the one on the Chi brothers, flickered faintly on his body.